Balls Babe Ruth really signed. We'll check out a former mascot's collection of New Jersey Devils memorabilia. Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle played together in one World Series. How valuable is a program from that World Series signed by both? And can an audio recording of a legendary New York sporting event reel in the bucks? It's all next on Yes Network's What's It Worth? Welcome to What's It Worth, the Yes Network Sports Memorabilia Show. I'm Andrea Joyce. Sports memorabilia allows fans to connect with their favorite players and teams. Many times, there's something about the item, like how it was acquired, that holds a special value to the owner. And sometimes the item can be worth a lot of money. And here to help me get a handle on what this memorabilia can be worth is John Brigandy from Brigandy Coin Company, a sports memorabilia expert from New York City. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Are you ready to go?
Let's go to it.
All right, let's get to our first guest, and he is Wayne Hagopian from Cliffside Park, New Jersey. And Wayne, we know that collecting can be a lot of work, and you've got some items here that really demonstrates and illustrates that, like this bat. Tell us about the bat, how many autographs you have on that, and how long it took you to get it.
Well, it has 70 autographs of Yankee players who were in World Series championship teams for the Yankees, dating as early as 1938 World Series champions to up to the 1978 World Championships.
And that took you how long to get that?
Many, many years. I guess I started in early 1980s, and I finished it up. I guess the last autograph was around 1997.
And is this going to shows, or so? Where did you...
Going to card shows, locally held card shows. I'm lucky I live in the New York metropolitan area, so they hold these shows quite often locally. And I got them all at card shows.
And you've also got a World Series program?
Yes, this is a World Series program from 1951, scored at Game 1, which, by the way, the Yankees lost, but they won the series 4-2. This is one of 2 games that Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio both played in World Series games that they both played in.
Do you have both of them? You have both there?
Yes, I have Joe DiMaggio on there. All the Yankees. I have 8 Yankees on there that were in that game, that played in that game, including Joe DiMaggio, Phil Rizzuto, Yogi Berra, Gene Woodling, Gil McDougall, and they wrote little things on it, like Mickey Mantle wrote Rookie 1951. He wrote that on there under his name. And Gil McDougall wrote Rookie of the Year 1951. Actually, a lot of people don't know that Gil McDougall was Rookie of the Year 1951, not Mickey Mantle. And I guess he saw that, so he wrote that on it. And Joe DiMaggio just wrote his name nice and boldly, Yogi Berra. And Phil Rizzuto wrote World Series MVP 1951, because he was the MVP of that World Series. So it's a pretty nice little collectible.
That's nice.
I also have Hank Bauer on there. I think I missed him. And Jerry Coleman, who was the second baseman.
And this is always fun when somebody brings in an old newspaper clipping. This is an entire page of the Daily News.
No, it's an entire...
it's an entire paper?
Entire newspaper, yes. It's a little frayed at the edges because of the way the paper content of that era. And this was signed by Joe DiMaggio. The headline is DiMaggio breaks all-time record as Yanks win 8-4. Now, that was 44 games he had hit in. Breaking the previous record of 43 games, which was held by Willie Keeler, I believe. And, of course, everyone knows he went on to hit 56 consecutive games, and no one else has ever broken that record. So Mr. DiMaggio signed that for me one day in New York at a card show. And
it's a nice thing to have. You know what?
I think it's beautiful.
You know what I love about this stuff is that we see a lot of signed baseballs, and a signed baseball is a signed baseball. And I know for an expert it's wonderful to see a beautiful ball, but when you see something like this, for someone who doesn't collect, it's so interesting to me to see these kinds of items. Can you put some value on these for us?
Okay, well, first of all, let's take them one by one. We'll start with the newspaper. Newspapers really aren't that as collectible as you might think, even though this is a great one. This would be worth, with the signature, someplace between $350 to $400.
Why is a newspaper not worth as much?
it's
Because
just,
the papers fall apart, or?
I think that's part of it. I think it's a black and white look as opposed to a more colorful look. But as we go down the line, for example, speaking of colorful, that's what makes this particular piece great. This is a 1951, World Series program, and it's just the colors are fabulous. See how vivid they are. And then, of course, he matched them with the blue signatures, made it look even better. To start off with, the program itself is in fabulous condition, and it's been scored, which is even a little bit better. But it's in fabulous condition, and of course the addition of Mantle with that little inscription, rookie 1951, he never did that. He did this, I'm told, at the end of his life when he became a little bit easier with autographs. So that's a wonderful addition. Joe DiMaggio on that, on it, of course, a wonderful addition, and then it's just beautifully done.
What would you put a price on that?
I would put a price at easily $1,500 on that
Wow.
piece. Yeah, that's a great piece. That is a fabulous piece, and again, visually, you can see how much, I think personally, how much nicer it looks in the newspaper, to answer your question. Now, the bat is fabulous. Bats, multi-sign bats have become very, very popular over the last 5 or 6 years, especially a bat like this, which only contains Yankees, only contains important Yankees. There's 70 of them, the most important of which is Mickey Mantle, signed at number 7. So that's kind of neat. I like the way he did that. He put a little plaque on the front of it, which makes it even a little bit aesthetically nicer. And most important of all, probably, is the fact that the signatures are all in dark condition. They never really faded to speak of, and has a wonderful coat of shellac, I suppose, over it. The look of it itself is beautiful. That and especially the program, it's a wonderful
What
combination.
about the bat? What's the bat worth?
That's worth at least $5,000, probably between $5,000 and $6,000.
Man,
That
is that what you
correct.
thought? You nodding
Somewhere
your
around
head.
there.
Yeah. Very nice. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next guest is Angelo Mirth. I'm Andrea Joyce. Our next guest